I'm with Sharren Haskel, who is the co-chair of the Knesset Christian Allies Caucus and a member of the Knesset. How important is the Knesset Christian Allies Caucus been over the past 20 years?
Wow, it's really important. It makes a massive impact on different communities overseas and here in Israel as well. I mean, we're building bridges based on mutual identity and mutual values that we share together. And it brings light to those communities and expose them to things that are happening, and it also exposes Israelis to those communities, and it really strengthens us, because especially during these difficult and troubling times that we're experiencing, knowing that we have true friends overseas that support and strengthen us is, I cannot express what a massive difference it makes in our heart and how it strengthens us.
You're not celebrating, but you're remembering 20 years, and it's a sad time as well, as Israel is at war. Have you received offers of support from Christians all around the world?
Yes. I think that, the phrases when we say never again, when many Jewish communities stood by themselves during very dark times, I think it's the Christian community who really understand what it means. And, they stand beside the Jewish people in saying that, the massacre and the attempt of elimination and, the mass murder and rape, that should never happen again. And when they understand the true meaning of it, it gives us some hope and light in order to fight against that.
Are you shocked today to see the anti-Semitism that's all around the world?
Of course. I mean, I have to say I'm not surprised, but the scope of it is shocking. I have family members all around the world, in France, Norway, Canada, America, and they're scared. They're hiding their identity. They're taking off Jewish symbols so they won't be recognized. They definitely don't speak in Hebrew because they're being targeted. They've been violently attacked, verbally attacked. I mean, for us, it's just we cannot understand how we are again in a situation where Jewish communities are being targeted again. And not everybody, but some leaders and governments are silent about it.
Now, you actually went to visit the sites of the terrorist attacks. Was that important for you to actually go there? And was it a shock what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there now a few times, and every time it looks different. The sights and understanding the scope of those atrocities, absolutely heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. It's the sights and the smell, and it really brings us to very dark times in our history. When we promised our grandparents that what they've experienced and how they survived the Second World War, we promised them that we will always stand on our feet and we will always defend our people and our families and our nation. And understanding that we were not able to do that on the 7th of October is heartbreaking.
We had today a family member whose sister has been kidnapped in Gaza, and you were apologizing to her because you couldn't do that.
Of course. She went there on the 7th of October to celebrate the holiday. Try and imagine your Christmas morning, going to a music festival and celebrating peace and love. And I mean, that's what they did there. And they were butchered. They were massacred, they were burnt, they were abused, they were raped, and they were kidnapped. They're being held in Gaza, sexually assaulted, physically assaulted, abused, drugged. I mean, I cannot imagine what is going through her mind and her heart. She's been reliving the 7th of October for more than 100 days now. And we failed to protect her sister and more than 250 others who were held there as hostages, more than thousands that have died there. Of course, we have, after the war is won and after we eliminate this radical Islamist terrorist group, Nazi group, We have to sit and think how this thing will never happen again. And I'll tell you what, I'm a person of education and I believe in education. And when we see that those hundreds of schools, the UNRWA schools in Gaza, they're United Nations schools that are teaching an entire generation to radical Islam, to martyrdom, to violence, to hatred, to racism, to Nazism, I understand this is something that we cannot be silent about ever again. We have to change this education system into an education system that goes hand to hand with the values that the United Nations want to spread, like coexistence and peace and democracy and tolerance. And I think this is one of our first mission in sort of demolishing radical Islam in our very small neighborhood.
You'll be going to Holland very soon speaking about the UN. What are you going to be speaking there?
So about UNRWA and how UNRWA is a branch right now of Hamas. This is a United Nations organization that was meant to look after Palestinians. In fact, it actually contradicts its cause because it's actually perpetuating that war and hatred between Israelis and Palestinians. This is one of the causes why we never had any kind of a long-lasting agreement with Palestinians, and why, while this organization is alive, we will never have. How their facilities, United Nations facilities that were paid by European countries and America and the European Union, the facilities that they build there are being used by Hamas. We found in almost every facility weapons and bunkers and terror tunnels. They use it as military bases. And how their education system is an education system of radical Islam, and how more than 10,000 workers, United Nations workers of UNRWA, are in fact Hamas members or Hamas family members. A week before the 7th of October, UNRWA, in a formal and official letter, has given 7 days of holiday paid leave for their members. You know why? So that they will have a week to get ready to the operation of the massacre of 7th of October. You see in UNRWA, internal workers groups, how they praise the 7th of October massacre. This is paid by the taxpayer money of your country, in Europe, in America, and in Canada.
What is your prayer for Israel right at this moment?
What is my prayer? I pray to win this war in a full way on defeating a radical Islamist ideology that is trying to force darkness on us. I pray that our values of freedom and liberty and equality will prevail and will win. I pray for the soldiers that are defending our families and our nation will be back home as quickly as possible, safe and healthy. And I pray for a better future, a different future than the one that is being tried to be forced upon us.
Must be very hard for you. You're a mother, you've got young children, they're not in the army, but you're seeing mothers sending their sons off to war today, and sadly today's been a very sad day with many soldiers being killed. Must be very difficult.
It is. It's difficult as a mother. I was in fact a combat soldier in the army in 2002. I was serving in Jerusalem during the time of the Second Intifada, and I go to so many funerals and mourning houses to go and hug the families. And it's just unbelievable the amount of worlds and heart that are being broken, the amount of dreams that just vanished, and what a huge price we're paying for defending our families and our communities. It's very, very difficult.
How can Christians around the world support Israel at this time?
Spread the truth, spread the light. Don't be silent when you see people that are lying about atrocities, about what had happened, when they're speaking in favor of a radical Islamist terrorist organization, when women who are fighting violence against women but then support Hamas, who mass raped and weaponized violence against women. Speak about it. Don't be silent. Post about it. Your neighbors, your family, your friends, your co-workers, talk about it. We have to be louder. We cannot be afraid to bring out the light and the truth. This is a fight that all of us together are fighting. They are knocking on the front doors in so many countries and trying to spread that evil ideology, and we have to fight it together. We cannot be silent anymore.
Okay, Sharren Haskel, member of the Knesset, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.